Boom. Recording to the cloud, outer space. This is not being recorded to a computer, being recorded to the cloud. So welcome everybody. It is 6:06 p.m. on May 8th, 2024. That's the date today, and we'll never have that date again. There will never be another 5/8/2024. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it, having a good week. Yeah, Steele, let's get that. I can help you out because I know you got your phone down. So I'll mute you. There we go. You're good now. You're good now. You can put it down and listen in. Hopefully you guys did something fun for Cinco de Mayo. Getting a couple dubs. Not bad. Both teams. Let's go. That was awesome. Just want to say that I was really pleased and proud of the way we bounced back on Sunday after a tough Saturday, going 0-4 and bouncing back and going 4-0 on Sunday. Let's go. Both teams had tough opening game losses on Saturday, and followed by 10, 12-point losses. So we went 0-4 Saturday. Sunday bounced back. The 17U team was down 20, close to 20, 18 or 20 and came back and got the dub. And that was an awesome game. It was pretty cool. That was the one that was photographed. But there was a professional photographer there taking some photos. We will try to get our photographer to be able to capture some flicks of the 16U squad. So hopefully you guys know this weekend is off. This weekend coming up is Mother's Day. So if you don't know, now you know. Okay. So now you know that it's Mother's Day on Sunday. So hopefully you guys have at least a card for your mother, maybe flowers. I'm not going to tell you guys how to live your lives. You're young men, but I know I got my mom a card and she gets my mom likes potted plants. So not like store cut flowers. She prefers potted plants, flowers in pots. So that's something that I've given her in the past. This year, since I do not live near her, it will be an IOU. IOUs are as good as cash from me, though, right? Like you can, except for Caleb's like, whoa, I think you owe me $100. Wait to the end of the year party celebration. But yeah, it's going up in value. You're earning I'm earning the interest on that $100. So by the time I pay it, it'll probably be like $100.36 that I'll actually give you. But anyways, so make sure that you get a card, make a card, write a letter, and don't just buy a cheesy store-bought card and sign it. Write a little note to your mom, to your mother, because without your mom, it's a pretty heavy thought, right? It's a pretty heavy thought because you couldn't be thinking the thought that you're thinking if you didn't have your mom, right? So make sure that you guys are appreciative of everything because, like I said, I'm looking at all of you and I'm going around and I'm picturing how polite and nice and sweet your moms are. So make sure that you guys are appreciative of everything that they do because I do know that they sacrifice a lot for you. They could have more nice dinners out, they could have a new pair of shoes, but they sacrifice that for you guys to be able to play with grit. So make sure that you guys are appreciative and say thank you for all that they do and say I love you and mean it. Slow down. Say I love you, mean it, and see how that relationship grows or changes. But I think we kind of get in a habit of saying I love you without actually slowing down and meaning it, or truly having that feeling of loving your mother. Because you only have one birth mother. All right, moving on. Next topic. No practice Friday. So this, since we aren't playing this weekend, we will not practice on Friday night. I know some of you guys have other things going. Some of you couldn't make it from a distance. But yeah, no practice Friday night. We will have a Zoom call on Sunday, which is 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. I know it's been a while since we've been playing in tournaments, but we will get together on Sunday at 2, even though it's Mother's Day. If you're doing something with your mom, just make sure you communicate, and I will have zero issues, zero problems, zero concerns with you missing the meeting. But we will meet briefly on Sunday. We have an assignment. We have an assignment that will be due on Sunday. It's a mid-season check-in. So it should be in your Grit 2024 Spring Grit folder. There should be one called Mid-Season Feedback. You click on that, click on Safari. You should be able to do it all from your phone. So if you have your phone, see if you can see it. It looks like maybe some of you are on your phone, but Lane, are you looking at your phone? No? Okay. If anybody's got their phone, I'm seeing it. But yeah, I will send this to you in the text thread, the players text thread, right below the Zoom link. There should be a Google form, which is like a survey. So you will go in. You guys have all done these before because you filled them out for the preseason questionnaire. So that 2024 Spring Grit mid-season check-in, that will be due Sunday. Shouldn't take too long. It says first and last name. This is my first season with Grit, yes or no? So these aren't hard questions. You can't answer if you've played with Grit before, let me know and I'll make you run a lot because you should know. How would you rate your overall Grit experience this spring? What has been the best part? What has been the best part of the spring season? What do you think we could do to improve the last 3 weeks of the season? What suggestions would you have for next season of Grit? Do you plan to play with Grit this summer? And anything else you would like to add? Caleb Long. What do you got? Unmute if you can. What's your question? Go for it. What do you got? Are you not talking? Is he talking? Caleb, can you speak? I don't hear the words. There, talk. Type in. You're gonna type it. Type into the chat and I will read what you type. Because if you're watching this on replay, you will not be able to see the chat. I do not believe. So let's see what Caleb Long is texting into the chat. The anticipation of what this question is. Asher's unmuted, so we won't give him too hard of a time. We have full access to the form. So you're saying that you do have access to the form, so everybody should be able to fill out the form. No, you have full access to the from. Did you mean prom instead of from? Because we can't fill it out. We have full access to the form. From like prom or from? I don't, let me see if I can change it to where you do have access to it. That would be if I do this, and this, and then I change that to this, and then I do this, and this, and then that. That should be that, and then this. And then after I do this, you should be able to see that. But if you can't see that, then you can't see this. We can't fill it out. We can edit it. Caleb, let's see. Give us some more hints about what you're trying to say. Unless there's somebody that can translate what he's trying to communicate to me, to us, to the people that can't see. He has typed so far in the last 2 minutes. He has typed, "We have full access to the from. We can't fill it out. We can edit it." And he's trying to communicate more. But I'm still trying to see if he can communicate. I think it says that you should be able to fill it out. But maybe it's not coming into that folder, so maybe you have to request permission to use that folder to see it, maybe. I've just been rambling here for a couple minutes to see if we can figure out if you can have access to that folder, maybe. Maybe it's the folder you don't have access to. Maybe it's the folder. 2024 spring grit.
Coach, it seems to be working fine whenever I open it.
Okay, so Caleb. It looks like you're able to fill it out, Noah. You could fill out the form.
Yeah, when I clicked on the link in the group chat, it worked fine.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see what Caleb's working on. He's trying to do a little bit of hand signals, but he's trying to re-enter as somebody else. So there's an imposter, an impersonator, an imposter or an impersonator. I don't know which one he would be, but what, Caleb, we're gonna move on with the meeting. If we can't get to that piece of the form, ask Noah how he did it. And then if he can't explain it or you still can't figure it out, ask Clayton. And if Clayton says, "Caleb, I don't know what you're talking about. Here's how you do it." Whatever he says, I just wonder now your thumbs up. Okay, thumbs up. So, okay, we're moving on. Okay, moving on. All right, moving on. Okay, so let's do Sunday. Sunday the 12th, Rue. So put a note in your calendar. Do it as soon as we get off this call. Don't mess this up. All right. There is a few of you guys. So I'm going to do the roll call for the amplitude checkup. That was due. That was meant to be turned in. And here's the names. I will name names. I will say the names. If your name is on this list, you did your assignment. If your name's not on this list, you didn't do the assignment. So I'm going to try to pull this up. If I can find which message it was. So here's the names. Maybe you did it before. So if you haven't, I'm going to call out the last name alphabetically. Trent Carton, Corbin Seehee, Javier Diaz, Kellen Fitzgerald, Coda Fredericks, Lane Garrison, Aiden Hendricks, Noah Herman, Colton Hubert, Jacob Jones, Caleb Long, Clayton Slagers. Your name was not named. What we were talking about before we started recruiting, you want to get on the coach's good side. You don't want to have to be on the crap list. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, ask one of those names that I just read because they did know what to do with the amplitude assignments. And this is good stuff. This is that next play speed. I know a lot of you are doing it and you're getting something out of it because we've shown it in the games. We've been resilient. We've had that next play speed. We've had how to calm yourselves, and we've been doing those things. So I think it's working. And I've talked with a few of you that feel like it's helping you. I've talked to some parents that feel like it's helping you. And I think it's helping you. So if you don't think it's helping you and you're choosing not to do it, at the end of the day, that's on you. And I know we want to hold everybody accountable, but I'm not going to handhold or babysit you guys. This is stuff that's trying to help you. We're trying to help you get from where you are to where you want to be. That's what we're trying to do. And if you're not taking advantage of having Colin's videos and watching those and answering the questions and trying to actually consume the material, then don't say you want to play college basketball. All right, I'll make it very blunt. If you haven't been doing your assignments and you haven't been working outside of grit, then let's change your goals and just be more realistic, because nobody in this program has the advantage of being 6'11". That is a huge advantage. There's kids out there that are. Pacific, Coach Lunt, Coach Hellstrom just signed a 7'1", a kid that's 7'1" tall. Division 3. So he plays really hard. He's got a lot of room to improve. Obviously, if he was 6'11" or 7'1" and could shoot and like a Kevin Durant, he wouldn't be at Pacific, but he plays hard and he's a great rim protector and rebounder, and he's going to really help the Boxers this next year. 7'1's tall. That's really a good advantage. So you guys, none of us have that advantage in this call, on this team, in this program. So you guys have to ace the easy. And I think I've talked about this before. I know I've tried to hammer it into Rue that, like, if it's easy, nail it. Like, do it really well if it's easy, because when it's hard, then you might have some slippage, you might have some fallback. But if you ace the easy stuff, then you get a little bit more leeway when the hard stuff comes. I hope that you can kind of understand that. Ace the easy, just that concept of, like, if it doesn't take much work, just do it really well. And I think you guys are all capable. You're all smart kids, smart young men. So when it's an easy assignment, like those, I don't know, it probably took 10, 15 minutes to get through those questions, and maybe a little bit longer if you're writing more, but it's important stuff. And so I want you guys to take advantage of that. So if your name wasn't read right there, try to be better. Try to ace those easy things. And like I said, I want you guys to get to where you're going. I really do. But at the end of the day, it's about you guys, right? Like, you guys all probably know the expression, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. If you don't know what that means, it means you can present all the information, you can give people all the resources, but I can't make you guys do anything really, So I want you guys all to be successful. I want you guys all to do good things and have high-paying jobs and awesome families. But at the end of the day, like, I'm good, right? So I know sometimes you guys get maybe frustrated when I stay on you, but that's when I stop trying to help you, that's when you should worry. And I think you guys have heard that or know that as long as the coach is still trying to correct you and get you better, they haven't given up on you. And I know I got on Aiden Hendricks this weekend, and I'm gonna keep getting on Rue because he's got to be picked on a little bit. He can take it. I know he picks on his older brother a little bit, but I think that if I didn't care, I would just let you do whatever you want and not not try to call you out and get you guys to do better. So that's why I called out, and maybe Steele heard it, maybe he didn't, but you got called out last meeting, Steele. You got called out last meeting, Luke Jackson. And I know you're at your brother's baseball game today. So it's okay that you can't be on the call, but I'm gonna call you out because I've also said on these last calls that if you do watch the replay, shoot me a message and let me know what you learned. And Rue did it. Rue did it. I had to remind him, and he did it on his way to Portland, but he did it, which is better than what some of you have been doing. And again, I feel like I just keep rehashing this and going over this, and I feel like a lot of you guys that are participating are benefiting and getting a lot out of it. And so that's kind of what this mid-season checkup is about, is just kind of wanting to see what we can do to help these next 3 weeks and see what we can do, because we're all getting ready, or almost all of us are getting ready for our high school June summer season. And some of you are going to be varsity starters, whether you keep working or you slack off. Some of you guys are fighting to make the team. Some of you are fighting to make the varsity team. Some of you are fighting to be a starter or a swing player. Some of you are fighting, you're all competing for something. If you guys think, well, I'm good, I'm all league, somebody be all state. Somebody out there wants to beat you. Somebody that wants to take your spot on that first team all league worked out today, got shots up, put in time in the weight room, did 500 jump ropes. Somebody that wants to take your spot, whether that's on your high school team, whether that's on your all league team, all state team, wants to take your scholarship. So you guys don't have goals where your actions don't line up to reach them, because you'll be disappointed. And I have a lot of friends that are my age that say, gosh, I almost, or I wish I would have, or I could have. I could have played in college, but you didn't. And that's something that I don't want you guys to have regrets. But if you give it everything you have every day, if you give it everything you have every day and you put in all the work and you listen to all the amplitude assignments, that doesn't promise you anything, right? And I feel like I've said this message before, but sometimes it takes hearing it a couple times for it to sink in. But you guys, nothing's guaranteed but improving your chances. How do you improve your odds? How do you get more of a chance to get what you want? So, like I said, I'm never going to promise anything to anybody, but I can tell you that I have friends that have regrets. I have friends that didn't put in the effort, and then when it came time to go off to college, even though they were better than me freshman year, even though they were better than me senior year. I'll say that again. There's people that were better than I was that didn't play in college, that were better basketball. There's a ton of them. There's lots of players that were better basketball players than I was in high school that never got to play in college. But you played Division I, coach. Yeah, I did play Division I because I wasn't a risk off the floor. I helped the team GPA. I won the sprints when we sprinted lines. I know I'm out of shape and old now, but when I was 19, yes, I won the sprints. I knew the other team's plays. I read the scouting report. I ran the scout team. I did all those things just to sit on the end of the bench. But I was there. And I want you guys to at least have the opportunity to experience that, because even though I never started a game in college, I had an incredible experience in college because I knew my role, I bought into my role, and I was really good at my role. So I have no regrets, except for maybe trying to play a city league basketball game without stretching as well as I should have. That's kind of a regret when I tore my ACL, or not my ACL, my Achilles. Sorry. I tore my Achilles the last time I tried to play basketball. Felt like somebody kicked me really hard in the heel, and I turned around and I was about to chew somebody out, and there was nobody behind me. And I knew right then, it didn't hurt like terribly, but I'd rolled my ankle as an athlete and I had never experienced a feeling like my Achilles snapping. So that's kind of a regret. But as far as the playing days, I feel like I gave it everything I had and I don't have regrets. I left it all out there. And that's at the end of the day. What I want for you guys is to just maybe you won't make your high school varsity team. Maybe not. I hope you guys all do. But if you guys don't and you do cut corners, then that's where regrets come in. So don't have regrets. Put in the work every day. And I know we've talked about it before, but Caleb fought to get on this team and competed and learned everybody's name and did things to put himself in a position where I would have been foolish not to have him in our program. And that's just, I have a lot of respect for Caleb. And I think you guys know that he aces the easy things and he goes above and beyond and does things that help make our jobs as coaches easier and has bought into his role. And you're really good in it, Caleb. So I think that except for trying to explain what we were doing on that last little thing, that was a little bit of a fumble. But you already have enough equity in the bank with me and our relationship bank that I'm gonna let that one slide because I didn't know if you meant from, prom, or from. If you see the chat, FROM, from, but it might have been a typo and meant we have full access to the from. Maybe it was prom. Anyways, no, form. I think he meant form. I think he meant FORM, but we'll let it slide, Caleb. But that's a lesson for you guys. Put yourself in positions where it's hard for coaches not to play you because you play hard. Or put yourself in a position where coaches look foolish if they have you on the JV instead of the varsity. Make the coaches that don't vote for you all league look like they're cheating because you're so good and they vote you sixth in the all conference voting, even though you're clearly the best player in the conference. That stuff happens. And then it looks like, what? Why is this person voted first, second, first, seventh? There's 6 players, and I see it. Why? Because maybe that player talked back to the coach. I know there's not many guys that are live and able to listen or able to chime in. Maybe Lane or Javi or Cody or Corbin or Asher or Jacob is able to unmute and say something. But do you think the kid that mouthed off to Coach Lunt will end up playing at Pacific? Jacob, are you able to unmute and answer that question for us? I want to get your opinion on this. Maybe I'm off base, but what are you able to unmute, Jacob?
Yeah,
What do you think about that? Do you think he has a better chance after playing in front of Coach Lunt and how he acted, or a worse chance?
way worse.
Way worse. That's the answer I was looking for. Thank you, Jacob.
Yeah.
So think about it. Like, do you want to be a knucklehead and talk trash and get in people's faces? Like, or do you want to just be the kid that plays so damn hard all the time that the coaches are like, I want that kid on my team because he's gritty, he's tough. Think about that. Like, coaches do have favorites. Coaches do. And it's not the kid that doesn't turn in their assignment, that shows up late, that leaves early, that cuts corners, that doesn't touch the line, that half-asses assignments. Those kids get deeper on the bench. Doing things the right way will get you closer to playing or starting or all league or all conference or all state. So think about that when you're playing and think about how you can improve your odds. That's the like poker. Some of you guys maybe play poker. Think about that, like just improving your odds. But there's a reason while Daniel Negreanu or whatever the guy's name is ends up at the final table almost all the time. It's not just a crapshoot, right? Like it's not just it takes some luck, but there's also a lot of skill involved. And so improving your odds, if you have good odds, sometimes you push in, if you can get reads and tells on people, but improving your odds. Like I keep saying, it doesn't mean anything is guaranteed or promised, but I know some of you guys didn't play on the team you wanted to this year. Some of you guys didn't have the role that you wanted on the team that you did play on. And it's hard because everybody kind of wants the role where you score 20 a game. That's usually the role most players want. Not as many players want the role where you set screens, you get rebounds. Those are the guys that can help win games, though. If you know your role, accept your role, and excel at your role, you'll be a better player and you'll help your team win more games. So when you're thinking about going back to June with your high school programs, show up early. Stay late. Ask if the floor needs to be swept before. Don't be on your phone when you walk into the gym. Don't wear a hat when you go into the gym. Change your shoes. Don't wear your street shoes on the court, right? There's certain things that you can do to improve your chances of getting that spot that you want and having the role that you want. Improving your chances by doing the little things. And those are things that you can do. Communicate, talk. Think about when you get back in June that, wow, if I don't talk, Jacob's gonna yell at me. Coach Bolger. Coach Bolger is gonna yell at me if I'm not communicating. How loud can you be? That's some way that you can differentiate yourself. If it's you and somebody else and you're fairly close and you're talking, you're communicating, you're diving on the floor, you're gonna get the benefit of the doubt. So build equity, build that rapport with your coach. Ask genuine questions. Don't be the type that just asks questions just to ask questions, because that annoys coaches. But if you have genuine good questions that show you're actually engaged and interested in doing better or helping the team, ask questions. But don't ask questions just to ask questions. And I think I've told you guys that before and reiterated that ask 3, then ask me. Like, I'm here for you guys. I hope you guys all realize I'm here for you if you do have a serious issue or you need anything or there's anything that I can do to help. But I think we've talked about it, so I don't need to go into that whole ask 3, then ask me. But if you can Google it, Google it. Googly. All right, guys. 6:40. So no practice Friday, Zoom call Sunday. Caleb's gonna ask Noah how to get that assignment on his iPhone. If you don't have it, I do know that you should be able to do it simply from your iPhone. So I had to coach and teach Jacob Bolger how to use Google Docs on his phone because he said, I can't do that right now because I have to get to the computer to do it. I said, but Jacob, you can do it on your phone. And he's, you guys know, he's quite a bit younger than I am. And I can do it. And Jacob struggles with it. So I was like, I can teach you how. It just takes a little time and the willingness to be coached and be taught. And sometimes older people like me are confused by technology. And I say that and people laugh, but like the blockchain and that technology, I'm learning it, but it is confusing. There's words and terminology with Web3 and all that I don't understand. And some of you guys probably don't either, but there's people now that do. But there was no Instagram when I was in college. There was no TikTok or MySpace. Or MySpace or Facebook. Facebook came around my junior year. If you guys have never heard of MySpace, Google it. It was like there was the Facebook, and then there was MySpace. And MySpace came out, and you had your top 8 friends, and you like move your friends around and be like, oh, you're in my top 8. And that was pretty cool when I was in the early 20s because it was definitely social media at its finest. But we digress and we go off topic sometimes because you guys are learning that I ramble at times. But thank you guys that could join live. If you are watching this on replay, you already know what to do. Send me a message telling me something that you got out of this call, watching it on replay. and we will fight again next weekend. But this weekend, Mother's Day, hug your mom, love your mom, write your mom a card, give her some flowers, physical and virtual flowers, and make sure that you guys are appreciative of everything they do for you. It's supposed to be hot this weekend, at least where I live. It's supposed to be like 90 degrees. Okay, quick poll. Has anybody ever heard of 98 degrees? Anybody? Rue might. I know Megan's pretty hip. 98 degrees. How about you guys have had to have heard of NSYNC? Bueller? Nobody's heard of NSYNC. Or, okay, Caleb, you've heard of NSYNC? Okay, you don't have to try to unmute or write anything in the chat because we don't have time for that. I'm joking. I'm giving you a hard time, Caleb. I like you. Wish there was more guys like you. 98 degrees NSYNC even. Justin Timberlake? You guys have to be old enough to have heard of Justin Timberlake. What? Your parents are in the back probably laughing like, gosh, I need to educate you guys better about NSYNC. The boy band era, the boy band craze. Clayton looks like he could be in a boy band with those. Is that just natural or are those frosted? Those the tips up there. Is that natural? Is that just blonde?
Yeah, it's just blonde. It's natural.
Just blonde. You look like you could be in a boy band, Clayton. They were dreamboats. They were 5-guy bands, the boy band era. That was a pretty interesting era. They all wore puka shell necklaces. Puka shell necklaces. A lot of them would wear their like neon shirts with the collar pop. Like, I don't know if you guys can see that, but the collar pop, they'd pop their collar. They would wear the chains, like the puka shell necklaces. They would have their hair all spiked up with like frosted tips. Like they would frost the tips of their hair. And then they would, oh man, it was a look. And they would sing, "Tearing Up My Heart." No, I'm not going to sing "Tearing Up My Heart" when I'm with you. Anyways, fun night, guys. Thanks for joining. Sorry about the lecture again, because the guys that are listening have been doing a good job. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Coach Lunt, Coach Bolger, wish they could have been here. There's Pacific Boxers, spring, winter, or school awards banquet tonight for the athletes at Pacific. So Bolger and Lunt are there with Hellstrom, and Willis is coaching. So yeah, awesome, guys. Thanks for coming. We will be Sunday with your answers already done and ready to go. Let's go. Here we are. Stop recording to the cloud. What is a cloud? How does it rain out of a cloud and store information?